Good morning and welcome to this very foggy morning flow. Special welcome if you are new here. My name is Hannah Ray. Today I have for you a short practice that's going to be working on the hips, the psoas, groin, hip flexor region. So really through this whole area, we're going to combine some movement, some mobility to really help open up those areas, get them a little bit more mobile, as well as holding some longer poses in order to stretch that fascia and connective tissue around those regions as well. So today you may want a block for this practice. We're going to use it for sure for one pose, but you may also want it for some extra support and some other poses as well. So go ahead and grab anything you think you might need, your mat, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, before we get into our first pose, let's go ahead and just take a few mindful breaths here to go ahead and tune inward, set the tone for our practice today. Maybe inviting those eyes to close, resting the hands on the knees. Take that first deep inhale of the day as we lengthen through the torso. And let out a deep sigh. Again, inhale, lengthening through the spine, crown of the head reaching up toward the sky. And exhale, shoulder blades falling down and away from the ears. Just noticing whatever state you're in today, whatever condition you're in, without judgment. Let's take one more inhale through the nose. Let out that sigh. Good. Go ahead and open the eyes when you're ready. We're going to begin at the center of the mat today, finding our butterfly pose. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together here. Taking an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And if this is hard to sit up tall in this position, you can always wedge the hips with a pillow or a blanket to help tip that pelvis forward a little bit more, which can help to sit up tall with a bit more ease. Take another inhale, lengthen again. As you exhale, begin to fold first from the hips, that flat back as much as you can. Maybe it's just a little bit this morning. That's okay. Take another inhale as we lengthen. Exhale, if the body allows, grab those feet and just allow the head and chest to melt forward. Maybe taking some gentle movement side to side here. Just noticing how the hips, the low back is feeling today. And then maybe coming into some stillness when you're ready, bringing your attention back to that breath. Inhaling into the low belly space or dantian. Exhaling fully and slowly. Just soften through the hips, through the groin. Simply observing how you're feeling this morning. Noticing where you're holding that tension or stress. Also just observing the state of the mind, your emotional state this morning. Just taking note of our starting point before we really get into this practice today. Maybe you want to take a few nods to the head, bringing that chin to the chest. As you inhale, lifting that head back up. Exhale, chin to chest. Just noticing if this is waking up the spine a bit more, the neck, the shoulders. All right, if you're ready, let's go ahead and begin taking some a little bit bigger rocks side to side now in this pose. Loosening up that low back a bit more here. Good, let's inhale, lengthen through that spine again. Maybe take a few flutters of those legs here. And just observing if the hips are feeling any different on one side than the other. And then from here, we're going to take a little bit bigger circles, more sitting up now in one direction. And let's take it the other direction. Good, go ahead and release. Okay, from here we're gonna find our yogic squat. Now, if you don't have a lot of deep mobility or flexibility in the hips to come into this position, then you're gonna wanna use the block today, or maybe even a stool or something a bit taller. So we're just going to sit on your block if you need a little support here. Make sure that spine is tall, those hips are wide. And if you don't need a block, you can just allow those hips to sink down towards the mat, using those elbows to press against the knees. And it's important here to make sure that those heels are staying flat on the mat. So if your feet are coming up or your heels are coming up, then you're going to want to use something for a little support to sit a bit higher. Make sure those heels are down. Once you're in this position, let's begin just taking some rocks side to side. Again, just observing whatever you notice in the hips here. Noticing if one side feels any different than the other side. And let's go ahead and settle into some stillness for a few breaths. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Inhale, inviting that breath into those areas of tension. With your exhale, imagine that tension melting out of the body. So inhale one more time. Let it go. Okay, now we're just gonna drop the left hand to the mat. So you inhale, reach that right arm up overhead. And exhale, bring that hand back to the center. Take an inhale. So you exhale, left arm combs over, reaching over to the right now. Take an inhale. Let it go. Switching sides. Inhale and exhale. Maybe speeding this movement up now just a little bit, moving with your breath here. Inhaling as we switch sides, exhaling as you reach. Let's take one more on each side, reaching to the left. And one more time, over to the right. Good. Return to center now. Now again, from here, you can use a block if you want to. Even if you can hold this position, but you want a little extra support for this, it may be helpful. From here, we're going to have the arms up beyond the knees here. Just think about keeping the left knee staying where it's at while the right knee drops in toward the ground here. So if it doesn't come all the way to the mat, that's fine. We're just gonna work it as much as we can. So then once the right knee comes all the way back up, then the left knee is gonna go down. So we just wanna make sure that we complete the movement here on one side before we take it to the other side. So we aren't doing it simultaneously. You're gonna inhale as that leg lifts, exhale as that knee drops. Again, not forcing it here, just observing how the body is feeling today, how this motion is feeling on those hips, that groin. And if you're not using your block here, then we're just holding ourselves up, doing the same thing. Some nice mobility work for those hips, that groin, moving them in a way that they don't generally get moved very naturally throughout our day. Good. Come back to center when you're ready now. Can maybe just take a little shift side to side. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and find our way into tabletop now. Let's take a quick little cat-cow, wake up the spine a bit more. As we inhale, drop that belly, arching as we look up. Exhale around, pressing those hips forward as the chin comes to the chest. Inhale, drop that belly. Exhale round. Inhale, drop. Exhale, returning to center now. Now we're just going to take a little circular motion here. So bringing those hips over to the left and around. So first just think about circling those hips. It's our naughty kitty pose. It's kind of a variation of our cat-cow. And then once you got those hips going, see if you can add in the shoulder movement as well. Maybe also adding in a little head roll here. Just making this feel good for your body. Bring a little bit more movement into those hips and spine. Good, let's switch directions. And return to center. Good. Let's go ahead with our next exhale. Step that right foot between the hands. Then you go ahead and walk that front foot a little forward. Bring that back knee a little bit further back. Finding our baby dragon first. So just find that low lunge. Make sure that those hips are tucked under, that we aren't arching through the back here. And begin to gently press forward as low as you can. Just beginning to observe the sensation happening through the inner thigh, the groin on this left side. You can use some blocks here if you need for the hands, if you need extra support. Maybe just taking a little rock side to side, observing where that tension is, this side of the body. And then finding that stillness for a few breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Letting go of anything you don't need in this moment with that next exhale. Take one more inhale here. And let it go. You plant that left hand to the mat or maybe on your block here, if you're higher up. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right, reaching that right arm up toward the sky. Just taking a twist here for a moment. Be moving with the breath as that arm comes forward and back around for 1. For 2. And 3. Holding that twist a moment longer. And then release the arm back to the mat. Let's heel toe that right foot toward the outer edge of the mat, allowing it to turn toward that pinky toe edge. So the sole of the foot is lifting up, that right knee falling away here. So now we're getting a bit deeper into this right hip, as well as going into this hip flexor still on the left side. So begin taking a few movements here, bringing that right shoulder toward the knee. As you exhale, bringing it away. Just noticing if that changes the sensation happening in the low back or the hips. Just feeling out this pose. And again, it's totally fine if you're up on blocks today to stay a bit higher up. And you're welcome to stay here on the hands or on your blocks. Or if you want to go a little bit further into this pose as we find our stillness, go ahead and come down to the elbows. Maybe inviting those eyes to close, bringing that awareness inward again. As we come back to the breath, breathing into those hip joints. With each exhale, softening through the body, anywhere you can soften. Taking a deep breath in, filling that belly, and letting out a sigh. So you surrender to the pose a bit deeper, learning to sit with, move through discomfort. Inhale. Exhale completely. Okay, let's do that one more time. One more deep breath in. And let it go. Good. Go ahead and bring yourself back up to the hands when you're ready. Here we're going to just slide this back leg forward a bit. So we're bent at the knee here. Now, if this is not accessible for you today, again, you can use this block to sit on. Bring it whatever height you need, or maybe you're going to use even a couple blocks if you need to sit even taller. We want to make sure that the hips are both, or the glutes are both rooted to the mat here. Be sure that you're not sitting on your left heel. And you can also move that calf muscle to the side if you need a little more space here for that leg. So we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold to just a flat back. Coming forward here as much as you can. And maybe you're going to stay up today just to that flat back. Maybe that's plenty for you. But if you can go a little deeper, let's inhale as we lengthen again. Then exhale, allow that upper body to just rest forward here. Just taking a moment to observe the sensations that are occurring in that left hip, the right hamstring. Inhaling and exhaling. Another inhale, filling that belly, that dantian. And let it go. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Go ahead and gently roll that spine up now. Just going to press ourselves back toward that lunge on the right leg, stepping back into our plank. Exhale, lowering for chaturanga, or maybe you're going to do knees, chin, chest. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, go ahead and press it back to child's pose for a moment. Forehead coming to the mat, glutes grounded to the heels here. Just take a moment to come inward. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. Do your exhale, round forward to tabletop. We're going to step the left foot forward now, making sure that knee stays over the ankle here, so we don't want it pressing over the toes. Let's go ahead and step that back foot a little further back if you can, finding that low lunge. So again, we don't want our hips to be, or our backs to be arched here as we come down. We want to make sure we have a tall spine. Then sink those hips forward as low as you can. Maybe just observing the difference between this side and that first side now. Taking any little movement you need here and then settling into stillness when you're ready. Inviting that breath now into that right hip flexor, that right inner thigh. With each exhale, surrendering any resistance you find yourself holding in the body. Inhale. And exhaling completely. Bringing that awareness inward once more. One more inhale. Let it go. Let's go ahead and plant the right hand now on the inside of that left foot. See, exhale, begin to twist, reaching that left arm up now. Extending through the arm, actively reaching through those fingers. Holding it for a breath. And let's fight in that movement now. Reaching forward. And sweeping the arm around for 1. For 2. For 3. Holding the arm up once more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Go ahead and release the left hand to the mat. Heel toe the left foot now to the outer edge of the mat, allowing the knee to fall away as we roll to that pinky toe edge of the foot. Beginning first up here on these hands, just taking our movement side to side. Again, bring that left shoulder to the knee, bringing it away. Just observing any changes this is creating in the body, in the hips, in the back, maybe in the side body. And then once you're ready, go ahead and find stillness again, whether that is staying up on the hands or maybe coming down to those elbows. Just noticing if this side feels different than that first side, observing where the tension is, where any imbalances are within your body. Maybe inviting the eyes to close here as we come inward for a few mindful breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Letting it go. Staying with your breath, staying in your body, staying present with whatever experience you're in the midst of right now, allowing yourself to be fully here. Let's take one more inhale. Let it out completely. And when you're ready, go ahead and gently come back up to those hands. Again, we're going to slide that back leg forward now. Keeping that right or left foot now extended. Maybe bringing that calf muscle over to the side of that right leg. And again, be sure you're not sitting on that foot. And feel free to use any props here you need to sit on or make this a bit easier. Let's inhale as we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold with that flat back first. Inhale, lengthen once more. And if the body allows today, with your next exhale, folding that chest forward toward the mat. Again, not forcing anything here. Inviting that breath now into that right hip and that left hamstring. Just observing the sensations that are present here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Letting go of anything that's not serving you in this moment with that next exhale. Emptying out. Take one more inhale here. Exhaling completely. And then gently rolling that spine up when you're ready. We're going to come onto our backs now. Bringing that right knee into the chest. Go ahead and just give it a little rock side to side. As you exhale, twisting that knee across the body, looking over to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. And let it go. Untwisting, extending that right leg, hugging the left knee in now. Again, taking a few rocks. That knee side to side. And let's exhale that left knee across the body. Looking over the left shoulder now. Again, coming back to that breath for a few more mindful breaths here. Breathing into that hip joint, the low back. Exhale, releasing resistance, surrendering to the pose. Again, just taking any notes of whether this side feels different than that first side did in this twist. Take one more inhale. Let it go. Good, untwisting now. And now we're gonna need that block or prop, whatever you have. Again, if you don't have a block, you can use a book or something similar. Now you can put this block any height that is going to best serve you. Most people put it this way. I prefer it this way because I'm a little bit hypermobile. So this is gonna go right on the sacrum. So this place just below the waist, kind of partially into the glutes here. Almost towards the end of our tailbone, but not quite all the way there. It's kind of this flat spot here. So once you get your legs or get that under your sit bones there, go ahead and extend the legs, and the arms can come overhead just since they're by our sides most of the day. And begin to come back to that breath now. Just allowing gravity to take you a little deeper into the pose with each exhale here. Be sure that those hip bones are the highest points of the body, being pulled up to the sky. Begin to relax through the feet, the ankles. Relaxing through the lower legs, the upper legs. Relaxing through the hips, the groin, the glutes. Through the torso. The entire length of the spine. Softening a bit more through the shoulders, the arms. And even every little facial muscle. Just allowing yourself to rest here heavily for a few more moments. Inhaling into the low belly. Sighing any remaining tension away. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, expanding through that whole belly, the ribs, the chest. And let it go. Good. Go ahead and plant the heels back down to the mat now. Just lifting the hips to remove your block or your prop. And gently roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Extending the legs. Turning those palms up to face the sky as we rest into our final Shavasana now. Just taking a moment to notice any changes that have occurred throughout the body, or maybe the mind. Taking a final scan through the feet, ankles, lower legs, upper legs, the hips, glutes, stomach, entire length of the spine, chest, shoulders, arms, hands, the neck, and every other little facial muscle melting away now. I'd encourage you to stay in the Shavasana even longer if you have time today. But if you're ready to finish with me and get on with your day, begin inviting some gentle movement back into the fingers and toes, maybe rocking the head side to side. Take a final stretch of the body. And when you're ready, turn onto your side and meet me seated at the center of the mat for our final closing breath together. Taking an inhale as you reach those arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Taking a moment to simply acknowledge yourself for taking the time to honor the mind and body in this way today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this morning's practice. If you enjoyed this class, please help me out by giving this video a thumbs up, as well as subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with more classes as they are released. I hope this class has your hips and back feeling a little looser and ready for whatever this day has ahead of you. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you soon with a new class, my friends. Namaste.